Today, we're going to trace a journey. It's a journey from a world of ritual, a world of doubt, all the way up to a pinnacle of pure revelation. We're going to follow two figures, a knight and a priest, as they're pulled toward this mysterious light, this great star that promises to answer the questions they've been carrying their entire lives. And their whole journey, it kicks off with one single startling realization. And it starts right here. The knight, a man who's been defined by action his whole life, suddenly sees that the void, the nothingness they've been taught to fear, it isn't actually empty at all. This one line, it sets the stage for everything to come. It's this dawning awareness that the spiritual emptiness they both felt wasn't an absence, but a presence they just couldn't see before. So, this is where their story really gets going. But you have to understand, this isn't a journey they chose. It feels more like a journey that chose them. There's this strange, compelling force that's just yanking them from the comfort of everything they've ever known and pulling them toward an unknown, kind of unsettling truth. And here they are, our two protagonists. And man, they are each facing their own massive internal crisis. On one side, you've got the knight. This is a guy of worldly deeds, and he is desperately searching for one single act that will finally give his life meaning. And on the other side, the priest. He spent 40 years leading rituals and preaching doctrines that he has never, not once, truly felt for himself. They're both trapped, you see, one by his need for some kind of external validation, and the other by a profound internal emptiness. So what's their catalyst? This. It's not a voice, it's not a command, it's a light. A vaster light, it says, with a blue shimmer that just feels completely alien in their world of stone and candlelight. It's basically an invitation to climb, to get above the familiar architecture of their beliefs and move towards something brand new. And I love this term, geometry of the grotesque. It's what describes the pull of that light. And notice, it's not some gentle, warm invitation. It's grotesque because it shatters their comfortable world, it pulls them away from what the text calls the muscle memory of faith, and shoves them onto a freezing, narrow tower stair. A path that, promises discomfort, but also revelation. So as they start this physical climb, they're actually beginning a spiritual descent. It's kind of paradoxical, right? Every single step up that tower is a step deeper into themselves, forcing them to come face to face with the very things they've spent their entire lives trying to avoid. And this journey inward, it happens in 3 key stages. First, they have to shed that muscle memory of faith. The mindless rituals they've been leaning on for so long. Next, they're forced to confront the arithmetic of grief, this idea of the kingdom's calculated, performative sadness that's really just hiding a deeper decay. And finally, as they get higher and higher, the world they knew, with all its clear rules and fancy halls, it becomes an unreadable map. All its structures and certainties just dissolve into meaninglessness below. And right here, you just see the knight's struggle laid bare. I mean, even on this incredible, mystical journey, he can't let go of his intellectual skepticism. It says he's hauling the weight of his sophisticated doubt up the stairs. It's like a physical burden for him, this constant need to know, to be seen, to be validated by the very thing he's not even sure he believes in. So the higher they climb, the less important the world below becomes. All its power structures, its gilded halls, its perfectly kept churchyards, all of it just fades away into this swirling darkness. They are literally leaving the world of appearances behind for a world of pure presence. And now, they've made it. After that grueling climb, they step out onto the very top of the cathedral, and they come face to face with the source of the light, the horizon of truth itself. Okay, so this is crucial. We have to understand what the great star actually is. It's not a god, not in any way they understand anyway. It is unconditional presence. It burns without the heat of consequence. Just let that sink in for a second. It lights up everything, but it doesn't punish, it doesn't reward, it has no agenda. It simply and profoundly reveals what already is. And the priest, he just falls to his knees and asks the one question that has been haunting both of them. After a whole lifetime of feeling inadequate, of hiding their failings, they are finally completely exposed, and his question is just dripping with the fear of divine punishment for their rot, for the decay they feel inside themselves and their kingdom. And the star's response is a total game changer. It doesn't judge, because it doesn't have to. Presence is harder than judgment. And isn't that true? Judgment is easy. It creates distance, right? a simple hierarchy, sinner, saint, good, bad. But pure presence, to just be with something, to illuminate what is without flinching, that is so much harder and so much more profound.
And this really gets to the heart of it. The light is totally impartial. It shines on the noble widow and the ignoble heir with the exact same intensity. It illuminates the cold child and the warm lord without any distinction. Now, for these two men who have lived their entire lives in a world built on hierarchies of who's worthy and who's not, this is a radical, mind-bending concept. So here, the star speaks directly to the knight's lifelong quest. His search for that one big, meaningful act was always pointed in the wrong direction. The star tells him the act itself, that's not the point. The point is the internal shift. It's the direction you face when you finally become self-aware. So it's not about what you do, but the state of being you're in when you do it.
You see, the rot they were so afraid of, it wasn't a sin. It wasn't a crime. It was simply sincerity that has forgotten how to examine itself. Yeah, they were sincere in their duties and their faith, but that sincerity had become a shield. It was a comfortable habit that stopped them from ever really looking inward. Their decay was a failure of self-awareness, not a failure of morality. And this is the star's final challenge. It doesn't hand them a new set of commandments or some grand purpose. Nope, it has simply turned on the light. It's illuminated the room of their own souls. And now, well, now the responsibility is all theirs. The only question that matters now is what they're going to do with this newfound clarity. So they don't stay up there. The journey isn't over. They have to go back down. But they descend as completely different men, armed with a new, powerful conviction. The priest, he finds his answer. After a lifetime of dealing with an abstract, disembodied faith, one he never truly tasted, he finds his new theology right here, in the physical. He realizes the body isn't some temporary prison for the soul, it's its primary, sacred instrument. His faith is no longer just an idea in a book, it's a lived, physical reality. And the knight finds his purpose too. He's giving up the hunt for that one monumental act, that trophy for his life. Instead, he commits himself to a process, walking the downward road, not in shame, but toward the absolute honesty of existence. His new quest isn't a thing to achieve, it's a wave being. You know, the star doesn't give them hope. Hope can be fragile, right? It depends on the future. Instead, it gives them something far more solid, far more immediate, the fact of its burning. The undeniable, constant, present reality of the light. It isn't a promise of a better tomorrow, it's the reality of a lit today. And we end on this lingering, provocative sound. The bells of the jester. Why? Because you have to wonder, wasn't it the jester's mockery all along that chipped away at their certainty? He made their home unhomely, as the story goes, forcing them to make this climb in the first place. He was that necessary mirror, the angle at which the light falls, as the knight put it, just to show them their hidden selves. He was the grotesque door they had to walk through to get to this truth. So the knight finds honesty, the priest finds embodiment. But what does it all mean when the fool is the one who set the whole thing in motion? That right there is the question we're left with.